Customization plays a massive part within Cyberpunk, and here on the channel we've done a number of videos already talking about everything that you can customize and all the different styles that you can have within the game. But despite having these different videos, there still seems to be some confusion about what you can do with customization. So in this video I will be clearing up what can and also what can't be customized within the game, and the limits of customization in general. Before I get into the video, if you do want to see any more content from me, there is a link in the description down below which will take you over to the Twitch stream. Currently stream every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, but that will ramp up to going daily when Cyberpunk is released, and hopefully now Cyberpunk won't be delayed. So I hope to go to daily streams as soon as we get the 10th of December. If you do want the latest news of Cyberpunk as well, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, and also make sure you go into the description and join the Discord server. We now have over 100 members, and that is still growing quite fast. So if any of what I've just said interests you, there is links to absolutely everything in the description down below. Getting back into the video, we all know that you can customize your character, and you have this option at the beginning of the game. There is a number of different presets that you can have which will change up different features of V. The game doesn't offer you a color picker for you to get the exact skin tone you want, and it doesn't offer a slider so you can get the exact shape or size of muscles or other body parts, because these are presets. So you can choose with the presets that CD Projekt have offered you. So with the character customization, even though it is in-depth and we've talked about it being incredibly in-depth, there is limitations to it. You can't do everything that you want to do because you are limited with what CD Projekt has offered you. At the beginning of the game as well, you can also change up your life path, being Street Kid, Nomad or Corp. If you do want to know more information about each of these different life paths, I have already done an in-depth video talking about each one and what you can expect, and I even go as far to say which one would be best suited to you. So if you want to see that video, a link will be in the description down below. But with each of these life paths, they each have a different introduction to the game, which will have lasting effects on V for the rest of the story. When going through the game, there will be different dialogue options which are unique to a certain life path. And the other thing that you can do at the beginning, which not many people talk about but still is important because this still shapes your playstyle within the game, you also have attribute points that you can put into body, intelligence, reflexes, technical and cool. This allows you to push for the playstyle you want at the beginning no matter which life path that you pick. And yet again, this will have lasting effect when you go through the game. But one thing to talk about is once you've made all of these decisions, there's no changing it. You still will be able to play the game and change up clothing for your character. You can change up cyberware, which will have some difference in your appearance. And you can also get more skill points to put into abilities, but there's no going back to change the skill points that you've already put into the different abilities at the beginning. You can't change the life path halfway through. To make these changes, you must create an entirely new game, because changing a life path or attributes or even certain aspects of your characters such as changing the voice will dramatically change up the story, and also what you're allowed to do within the Cyberpunk world. This is an in-depth world where everything is linked together. Your choices affect the story. So if you change your life path halfway through, suddenly this wouldn't really make sense. Because what you was able to do at the beginning, for example, you pick Street Kid, you was able to leverage with the gangs, understand the lingo, to then change into Corp, where you're now not able to talk to the gangs, but you're able to talk to the corporations and have leverage over them. It will just bring something very, very weird to the game. Attributes can be built on, but you can't really change them from what you had before. It would also be something very weird. For example, if you put attributes all into intelligence at the beginning and you're someone very, very smart within the world, to then completely changing all of that and then going into cool. Suddenly you've lost intelligence. You've had the ability to hack into things to now not being able to hack into things. Even certain aspects of the character, being the voice or even the genitalia, will have an effect on the different relationships that you can have in the world. You'll suddenly go from someone not liking you at all to now someone all in love with you. And this would unlock different plot lines and storylines. If you're changing all of this, it will be a complete mess. So those are the limits with character customization, and also the problems that you'll encounter if CD Projekt did allow you to change it. Next up, we have the vehicles. This is another topic that we talked about a lot on this channel. This was planned to be within the game, so there might be some confusion with it, as there is articles out there that says vehicle customization will be coming, and there is points in which CD Projekt Red have said that vehicle customization is coming, but all of it had to be scrapped either because of time constraints or design decisions. With this one, we're not actually too sure. This means that you can either steal or buy a vehicle, but you cannot change anything about it. What you buy is what you get. Now, as a plus, there is a huge variation in vehicles that you get from cars, bikes, and even heavy duty vehicles such as trucks. There's no flying vehicles that V can own. They exist within the world, but V just cannot buy or even steal them. But because vehicle customization was planned for the vehicles, assets were created, and CD Projekt Red obviously didn't want to be a complete waste, so they still used assets, and this is what leads to the huge variation in the types of vehicles within the game. You can come across some type of car, except one car will be customized slightly different to the other car, but then both being the exact same car. So therefore it will look different, it will handle different, and it would even sound different. And what decides this variation is the owner that actually owns the car, whether or not it's been customized before, as well as the region. So you can find a Quadra within the city center, and that will probably be at a higher level because the city center is filled with people in power. But if you did find a Quadra within Pacifica, it'll probably be a lower end vehicle because it's in a much poorer area. And then likewise, if you did find a Quadra out in the Badlands, it would have been customized completely differently because it had to deal with the rougher terrain. And it would also probably be customized with scrap metal that was found out in the Badlands. So this leads to a huge variation in vehicles within the game, but unfortunately, you cannot customize them. What CD Projekt Red have said is that you are not customizing the cars, but you will be able to buy into already customized cars. So technically, car customization is within the game, but it's not car customization for you, it's actually for other characters within the game. So what you actually need to do is just go around looking for a vehicle that you would like and either buy it or even steal it, and then yeah, that's the best way to do it. And finally, we have apartments within the game. This is a topic that we haven't mentioned too much. There were originally plans to have multiple apartments within Cyberpunk. CD Projekt Red confirmed this very early on, but due to time constraints and also being some design issues, CD Projekt Red decided to remove all the apartments apart from one, the one that V will be living in. You will not be allowed to buy any other apartments, and you will not be able to customize the apartments. CD Projekt Red have said that the apartment that you live in is in a location where a lot of cinematics will take place. If you're on a job, Jackie Wells as well as other characters will be in your apartment as they plan the job, and it is supposed to be a serious and sentimental place, and the apartment customization or even being able to buy multiple apartments would leave the door open for players to not be as immersed. In a paragraph on Screen Run, it does say this: the reason fans can't customize their apartment is an interesting one. It's because decorating the apartment would go against the spirit of the game, which is dark and gritty. Although that's a CD Projekt Red answer, the explanation is probably a bit more complicated, especially because in the same article, it stated that the apartment is important to the storyline of the game and will have lots of meetings take place inside. If there are a lot of cutscenes and important moments there, it would make sense not to let it be too customizable, since having a giant unicorn doll or action figure of Geralt in the bathtub would likely hinder the scene's gravitas a little. So you can start to see some of the issues that will arise if you were able to customize the apartment. Despite all of this, I have read that the apartment is supposed to change as you progress through the game and the decisions you make. This hasn't shown by any gameplay, or I haven't even seen CD Projekt Red confirm it. This has popped up in a number of different articles. My impression of this is, for example, if Jackie Wells asks if you want to take a picture together, and you will have the branch of dialogue which will either give you yes or no. If you say yes, then maybe in your apartment you will find that same picture of you and Jackie Wells. But if you say no, then you won't have that option to have that picture in a frame within your apartment. This is just an example that I've made up and not something that I think is guaranteed to be in the game. The apartment will also have a few gameplay features tucked away inside it, such as the ability to check the internet and emails and storing equipment the player can carry with them. This includes different types of clothing and also your different types of weapon loadouts. I guess technically the only bit of customization that you can do within the apartment is probably the weapons, as well as being able to change the vehicles out within your garage. Weapons can have their own attachments as well as modifications, and you can also get different types of skins for the weapons. So I guess in a very creative way, you could have a weapon on the wall with a skin on Moxes, and I guess you can class that as an art piece that you've placed there within a certain area. And with the vehicles, you can't customize the vehicles as we've already covered, but what you can do is have different vehicles within your garage. So if there's a vehicle that you really like the look of, but you just don't like driving it, you could just store it in your garage and it could just be a piece which you can look at. But that's as far as things go. You cannot change anything else. But anyway, those are the limitations of customization within Cyberpunk. I believe now with customization, we have now covered absolutely everything. The next thing to do is just wait to see when this game is released to see everything that you can actually customize. That's when probably we'll get some more customization videos out. As said at the beginning, if you do want to see any more content from me, either being over on Twitch, or maybe you just want the latest news and you want to go over to the Discord, links to absolutely everything can be found in the description down below. But anyway guys, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. But for now, I'm going to see you.